Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rick or Richard James Goetze, and I'm a Canadian author. I write short stories and I sell my short stories on kobo.com and amazon.ca to help the poor. I sell my short stories not to make money for myself. I do earn royalties whenever I sell a book. Whenever you buy a book, I earn royalties, but I don't keep those royalties. I give every cent, every dollar of those royalties to a food bank here in Toronto, Ontario. It is my way of using my talent as an author to give back to the poor, to help out. We don't live alone in this world, and we should try to help out when we can, where we can, as much as we can. So my way of helping out is to use my talent to write short stories that fans seem to really enjoy, and to sell them to raise money for the poor. So today is a Reading with Ricky Day. Reading with Ricky, it's a new initiative trying this year, and I'm giving you little free samples of Reading with Ricky, the author here, myself, reading the first introductory pieces of each of my short stories. So today's story is going to be called Grateful for Gladys's Guidance. Gladys was an amazing woman, and she was filled with wisdom, knowledge, compassion, and caring. So she is the focus of my story today, and we're going to have a little reading from Ricky with from this short story in a few moments. But before we get into our Reading with Ricky with Grateful for Gladys's Guidance today, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself. I've been writing short stories now, collections of short stories, since the year 2020. My first publication came out in 2021. In my career, I was also a writer, but I was writing technical and training documentation for the Government of Canada. Initially, when I retired, I wanted to volunteer to help the elderly. I was going to work in old age homes and read to the elderly. But when that couldn't happen because the old age homes were closed down during the pandemic, I decided to write instead. So I started writing short stories and publishing them, and I discovered pretty soon, or people were telling me pretty soon, that, hey, you have a talent. You're a pretty good writer. We enjoy your stories. So I decided that I would write short stories, put them together into collections, sell them individually or in collections, and I don't want the money. Well, the money is nice, but I don't need the money myself. I'm not poor, but I'm not rich either. I'm in between. I'm comfortable. So the money I earn from my book sales goes directly to the poor people. A lot of people are struggling to eat, so I've decided to support a food bank, and that's where all of my money goes from book sales, to the Allen Gardens Food Bank here in Toronto. Anyway, my first collection that I did publish was called Little Ricky, the Boy from Otter Lake. It is a collection of 12 heartwarming short stories, and my protagonist, Little Ricky, is a 5-year-old boy, and he's growing up in a small rural town, and it's all about loving, learning, lessons, compassion. It's all about the trouble, tribulations, and special times that a little child can have growing up in a sweet family, in a wonderful community. It's a really great little book for grandparents and parents to read to their kids. It's a little tough for a kid to read it themselves, but they're really touching stories to help you to teach your kids about valuable life lessons. I've had very good feedback about this collection, and that's why this year in 2025, I decided to put out the sequels. Have you ever wondered what happens at the end of a story? I wonder what that character did, or what they might do, or what have you. Well, now you can find out, because those original 12 stories and Little Ricky, the Boy from Otter Lake, now each have a sequel short story. So you can have the new collection of sequels to the original stories here in this new book just published this year. It's available on kobo.com, amazon.ca. It's, again, the sequels to Little Ricky, the Boy from Otter Lake. Really cute little charming short stories. I'm sure they'll put a smile on your face every time. Anyhow, so after writing Little Ricky, the Boy from Otter Lake, I decided that because of fanfare, I would continue my writing journey, and I put together a second collection. The second collection of short stories features my same protagonist, my Little Ricky character, and he has grown up, though. He is now age 14, and he's attending high school. So this collection, equally 12, but sold in two parts. Part 1 has the first 6 stories. Part 2 has the second 6 stories. and it's been broken up in two parts because the stories were so long. I had to break up the book because Amazon would not allow me to publish a paperback with so many pages in it. So you can find these again on Amazon and on Kobo. But anyway, my protagonist grew up and he's now in high school. And these stories in this collection are basically about teen life. Teen life, and so if you were a teen, or you're going to be a teen, or you are a teen, these are great stories about what teens face. Teens have all kinds of challenges, and they're going through life learning as they go along. And so the 12 stories in this collection deal with all of the stuff that comes with being a teen, all that learning that happens when you're at that age. If you want to go back and reminisce with historical fiction about your teen life, or you want to help your teen get through some problems today, this collection is really amazing. And today's story will be from this collection. It's called Grateful for Gladys's Guidance. In Grateful for Gladys's Guidance, my character, Little Ricky, is dealing with body image. A lot of teens have trouble with body image, and especially today with social media, we're always looking at the better person. Oh, that person on TikTok, or that person on Facebook, or wherever teens are getting their social media from these days, are comparing themselves to too many other people. And so I always need to be better than them. So I'm either too fat, or I'm too skinny, or I don't have enough makeup, or my hair needs to be this way and not that way. So this story brings it back to reality. It's about my character feeling that he's gaining too much weight, and how his beautiful aunt, Gladys, gives him some beautiful, wise advice on how to deal with these particular hard feelings that you can face when you're a teen. So again, today's first reading with Ricky will be the introduction to that story, Grateful for Gladys's Guidance. Anyway, if you hang in there, that'll be coming up soon. But last few thing about my third collection, I do have a third collection on the way. Some of it is published, but not all. It will eventually have 12 short stories, like my first two collections. It's called Little Ricky, the Young Man from Otter Lake. I have 3 of those stories published, and they're available on kobo.com and on amazon.ca. The fourth story has been written. I hope to publish it by the end of the summer, and maybe I can squeeze in another story before Christmas. I'm not sure. I've had some health issues, so my writing journey has slowed down a little bit, but I have full intention to create the full 12 stories for Little Ricky, the Young Man from Otter Lake. So 3 collections: Little Ricky, the Boy from Otter Lake; Little Ricky, the Lad from Otter Lake, Adolescent Adventures; and coming along, Little Ricky, the Young Man from Otter Lake. Anyway, hang in there. I'll be right back with today's reading from Ricky, and we're going to be looking at Grateful for Gladys's Guidance. I'll be right back. Excellent. Welcome back. Thanks for your patience. So now let's have a reading with Ricky from Little Ricky, the Lad from Otter Lake, Adolescent Adventures, Grateful for Gladys's Guidance.
It was July 1979. The July heat emanating from the hot sun hovered above the earth. It sat there motionless, suspended like a heavy sack of potatoes. The scorching sun slowly baked everyone and everything that its rays could reach. Since Dominion Day on July 1st, people who were out in the searing heat were reduced to wearing nothing more than a light cotton t-shirt, shorts, and sandals. Most boys even skipped wearing their t-shirts and went about bare-chested, while the gals opted for short shorts and a bathing suit top. Any exposed skin, however, if left uncovered too long, reddened and blistered. Though it was a thing to actually lay out in the sun and to toast one's skin to a golden color in the late 70s, most ended up with red-hot sunburns. There was no summer breeze to stir the air, and it was quite stifling. In attempts to find some comfort, most folks from the town of Otter Lake, Quebec, and its surrounding communities sought out any available shady patch, a spot in front of an electric fan, or if fortunate to be rich enough to have one, to sit in front of a most ingenious invention, an air conditioning unit. All others, especially the youngsters, made several daily trips to the nearest lake, stream, or creek to dip into the water for a cool down. Otter Lake was a fortunate town in this regard, because it had several lakes close by, such as Hughes Lake, Leslie Lake, Farm Lake, McQuaig Lake, Clark Lake, and Otter Lake within walking distance, or within a very short car or bicycle ride. In fact, Farm Lake was right in the middle of the town. On occasion, some townsfolk, despite the hefty prices, had backyard above-ground pools installed, and those yards quickly got filled with visiting friends, family, and neighbors. Ricky, however, had other plans. His way to cool down was to feast upon yet another creamy cold milkshake, or a delectable soft-serve large ice cream cone. With cash in his pocket, He was heading out once again on his way to Kern's ice cream stand. Ricky, the lad from Otter Lake, a typical West Quebec teenager, was very happy that once and for all, summer vacation, 2 whole blissful months of summer away from school, was well underway. He had left school for the last time in late June and was just settling into his newer summer routines in these first weeks of July. From the long Victoria Day weekend in late May until now in mid-July, he had not really changed very much. He had not grown any taller and wore his hair in the same way, combed straight, a bit longer at the back and on the sides, and side-parted from the right to the left. It was still dark brown and wavy and held in place with a light touch of Brill cream. His face was still clear from any huge invasion of acne, though a few stray pimples would sneak up from time to time. His eyes were exactly the same, big and bright in their unique color of light hazel brown, shimmering green, and flecks of gold. Though now on summer holiday, he still kept his face clean-shaven, with the exception of a newer mustache. Though it was still growing in, it was starting to take a nice shape. The only change being noticed by the lad was a thickening of his stomach. Even though he was no longer wearing tighter jeans and had opted for looser summer cotton shorts, types mostly with elastic waistbands, and a pull-string tie, he noticed a change in how he felt with tighter tension across his gut. His cheeks, his chin, and his neck as well suddenly seemed to have more flesh on them. It was a fact that he was still ignoring, but he had put on weight. He was getting fat.
So that is the beginning of Little Ricky, the lad from Otter Lake, Adolescent Adventures, grateful for Gladys's guidance. Aunt Gladys has a great bunch of advice to bestow to this little lad from Otter Lake, and it's helpful advice that can help anyone who's struggling with body image. Again, hopefully you'll enjoy this short story. You'll find it on Amazon.ca or on Kobo.com. If you like me on my YouTube channel and you like these Reading with Ricky segments, please give me a thumbs up. That means a lot. Comments mean the world to me. I would love to hear from you, to hear what you think about my short stories, about my little YouTube videos here. So please leave a comment. If you subscribe to my channel, you won't miss another new video. I keep posting regularly. And of course, to be notified, click that bell button down there, because on that little bell, you'll always be notified whenever I post a new video. Anyhow, I'm wishing you a wonderful summer day, a wonderful day if it's not summer when you're watching this video. But I wish you all the best, and do keep well. Bye for now.